Hello, welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John and this video is about what are my top 15 films that I watched, first time films that I've watched in 2020. Now 2020 was a great year film wise, not a great year in anything else, but I do find that I've got some videos here or some films here that I really enjoyed, and I wanted to take you through what I consider my top 15 films, my first time watch films that could be from any year. And I had a great time with all of these films and some other films as well, but this is the top. I've narrowed the list down to 15. That's easier said than done. Okay, so I'm going to not spend too much time talking about these films. I've probably mentioned these quite a few times, and you might know of most of these films I've talked about. Okay, so let's get into this. At number 15 is 2020's The Invisible Man. This is such a good film because it's not sort of taking the usual way that most Invisible Man films go. It does offer a bit more of a scientific spin on it, and also there's a lot of suspense in here, and I do think they've tackled the Invisible Man in a way that no other film has done with his invisibility thing. So it's highly recommended, and it's got a lot of scary scenes into it. It's not frightening, but it's more suspenseful, especially when you know the Invisible Man's there, but you can't see him obviously, but you know he's in the room, and there's just a lot of tension in this film. Very good and very suspenseful. Coming in at number 14 is a film that I had for a long time on Blu-ray and just didn't watch it. I had in my mind that it was going to be a certain type of film, and I did have no handle on it. I didn't know how to sort of pigeonhole this film, but I got this as a subscription gift from a channel called Euphoria Pictures, which I'll link down below. Great channel. So Keith from Euphoria Pictures sent me the 4K of The Fifth Element. So I thought, right, I'm going to watch this film now, and I'm going to watch it, I'm going to put it on, and I'm just going to take it whichever way it comes. And I've got to admit, that was the best thing I could have done. I didn't go in with no expectations of anything, but I was really blown away by it, and I actually got the film this time. I got the film how it was not really, it was kind of futuristic, but it was more, it's got a lot more of, how to put it, it's very aesthetic to look at, and it's a great film. Obviously it's directed by Luc Besson as well, so it's got that going for it, because I'm a big fan of Luc Besson films when he does one in a good way. So I did like this film a lot, and I did like it a lot more than I thought I would have done, and I'm glad that I didn't just leave it on the shelf for years and years and didn't even go near it, because I was missing out. In fact, I should have looked at it. I shouldn't have ignored what I thought it was going to be and just took it for what it is. I think I'm going to do this a lot more in 2020. Just if I see a film, don't have any preconceptions of what it could be, just go in with fresh eyes and see what it's all about. And I did really enjoy it, so thanks very much to Keith for sending me that film as well and making me take notice of the film for what it is. It is a bit of a classic, if I'm honest. So in 13, I messed the list up already and I haven't even gone into it. The good job I've kept a little list down there of what these films are. On 13, I got another subscription mail from my good friend Leon in Leon Talks Film, and this is Dr. Sleep, and I was wanting to watch it, and I had it downloaded on Sky, and I was going to do it, and I got sent this, very gratefully sent another 4K of Leon from. So Leon sent me this 4K, and I thought, right, I'm going to watch. So obviously watched the 4K. It was stunning picture quality, absolutely stunning. The film is really good. I went in not thinking it's going to be like an exact. I wasn't expecting The Shining 2, although it kind of is. It's its own film. I do like it for its own film. I got a lot out of it. I'm gonna watch the director's cut on Blu-ray this month for sure. I was going to watch it last month, but there was a lot of films coming in and all that type of thing. So Christmas came and it was a very busy period. So I've put it on after this year, but I'm wanting to see what was extra, because I think there's half an hour extra in the director's cut. So I want to see how they expand on this story. But I did really like it. So thanks to Leon for sending me that. Really appreciated that. So these were two subscriber mails I got this year. Absolutely brilliant. But these are first time watchers, they're very good. Next at number 12 is a film from this box set, the Buster Keaton box set. I think it's the third one they've released, and the film I'm going to choose is Our Hospitality. They're all good, don't get us wrong. I've had fun with all of the Buster Keaton ones I've seen. There's not one that I've considered a dud, but this one here is just phenomenal. It's like an action, adventure, comedy. It's got everything in it, and Man vs. Film has done an amazing review of this film, which I'll link down below. You can go and check his out. But it's just, I think it's 1923. It's one of his first ever feature-length films, and it's just absolutely mind-blowing, especially the special effects that they did, which you don't even know the special effects. I think he's well above his time, before his time, to put all these things together, and they just look like real bits of film, but they're not. They're a bit of a cheat, and it does show in the extras how they did manage this huge waterfall, and the thing that you think people are actually hanging off waterfalls when they're not really. But he still does some death-defying stunts in this film, as he does in all of his films. How he ever got through his films, I'll never know. So yes, so that's 1923's Our Hospitality. In fact, if you're thinking about getting some Buster Keaton, if you're thinking about getting some Buster Keaton stuff, actually, just go ahead and get it. You will not be disappointed. So at number 11 is the fourth part of Ip Man. This is the finale. This is the last one, Ip Man 4, and with starring Donnie Yen. And it's just, the whole series for me is amazing from start to finish. I think third was my least favourite of the whole lot, but this one here, it comes round in a full circle. And it leads up to the fact that Bruce Lee, who was trained off Ip Man in real life, the Bruce Lee character comes into this film, and it's all about sort of how he came into his life, and towards the end of Ip Man's life, and it's very emotional as well, but it's amazing picture quality in here. It's like borderline 4K, just absolutely beautiful. But it's a fitting end to this saga, and it's coming out in a box set as well on 4K, I believe. So, yeah, it's one of them ones I would urge you to watch the whole thing, but we watched Ip Man 4, and it was just, you think some of these films might, by the fourth time, the fifth time, they sort of go off the boil, but this one is right up there. Absolutely brilliant. And it's a fitting end to this actually true life story saga. At number 10, getting into the top 10, now a big shout out here to Davey Doc, who likes my countdown videos. Hopefully he comes back to the channel soon, because he's taking a little bit of a break, but I'm sure he'll be back with some more videos very soon. We miss you, Davey. Be glad to see you back sometime soon. So anyway, at number 10, it's John Wick 3. There's a lot of numbers here, and that's why it's knocking me off my stride. This for me is my favourite of the John Wick series. It's just full of action from start to finish. The amount of violence in here is unreal. I don't know how it's got to be a 15, because there's just some really extreme, vicious kills and woundings and knife fights and gun battles. It's just absolutely brilliant. So I do highly recommend this. I will be upgrading it to 4K because it's meant to look absolutely brilliant. So number 10 is John Wick 3. Number 9 was a film I've been wanting to see for quite a bit. It's been out for a bit, but I thought when I saw it cheap in CX, I thought I'd pounce on it. And it's the Lords of Chaos. It tells a true story about the band called Mayhem, who burn churches. There's a bit more to it than that. And it's about these characters and people who kill each other, suicides and deaths, and it's very, very brutal, especially at the end. And it's such a good. I wouldn't say I'm a massive fan of death metal, but I do like things about them. There's obviously the band Venom, who inspired a lot of this stuff. Venom is literally, the band is just from down the road, which is quite mind-blowing to think that this all the bands like Metallica, Slayer, Mayhem, Busan, who's to do with Mayhem as well, who's a person out of the band Mayhem, went on to form Busan, and he formed it by himself, and he makes these albums all by himself, which is a bit crazy. And they were influenced by Venom, who lived down the road, and everybody knows the characters from Venom. You can see them walking around the streets, well, they used to anyway, so that's nuts. So yes, so that's number 9. That's Lords of Chaos. Very good, much better than I thought it was going to be. At number 8 is a film from 1920, believe it or not. So this film is 100 years old, and it is The Golem, or The Golem. well, silent obviously. It's had a really lovely 4K digital restoration, you can tell. Now to see something that's 100 years old, and you can see the level of detail in this film that's quite unbelievable actually, and some of the detail is probably a bit more detail than you would get in films today. It's stunning to see that. I love to see that. It's like a time capsule, even though the film is not, it's set in it's made in 1920, but I don't think it's set in 1920. I like to see films like these because it's a bit like having a history lesson in what the world looked like 100 years ago, although this is a bit of a fictional account for this this stone person called the Golem. And I do believe this was a trilogy, although the first one was lost in time and it's never going to be, it's, you know, nobody knows where it is and it's gone. And I think this may be the second or the third one, but this is still a standalone film about this the stone person that comes back to life. And the whole scenery as well is filmed in is it expressionist? I'm going to say it probably is, and it's German expressionists, and it just looks, it's just a visual treat, and I just love it. I've been wanting to see this film forever. I had it in the old horror book and used to have a big picture of the Golem, and I thought I've got to see that film, and it never ever showed its face on telly or anything, but here we are with a lovely 4K restoration disc on Blu-ray. So highly recommended. In fact, I wish I got the special edition, which I snoozed on, I didn't get. Probably goes for £1 million at the minute. Number 7 is a controversial film, and it does, I put it off for a long time. I had to get it because it was part of this director's work, so I thought, well, I'm going to get it. I don't know if I like it. It was on the shelves for a long time before I watched it. I watched it the start of this year, and I was really impressed with it. And it's the 1965, is it 19, no, I think it's 1962 movie by Stanley Kubrick, Lolita. Now this here, I would read the back of it to you, but you can't because it's in Italian. I don't think this has a standalone release from the UK, but it is in the box set. But rather than paying the money for the box set, I just went and bought this. I think it was cheap on eBay. It was only about £7 brand new, and the picture quality is absolutely stunning on it. The film's it's a long film, and it does have a bit of an uncomfortable storyline to it. It's to do, the book apparently was a bit more explicit than the film is. The film obviously was bound to censors in the 60s. It couldn't show everything in this book, but it effectively tells the story of this fella who goes to live with this, well, he goes to board at a house. Now the house is run by this woman who has got a daughter. Now this fella who's middle-aged takes a shine to the daughter, and he also tries to ingratiate himself into the family by, you know, getting married to the mother so he can be closer to the daughter. Now it's all about that, and it's got a bit of tragedy in it. It's got a bit of humour in it. It's got an amazing performance from James Mason, who plays this sort of main protagonist. Also, the girl here, who I'm going to blank on her name, of course, but unfortunately she just died. Sue Lyon. She's died last year. Peter Sellers in here as well, who plays a really good character. And it's one of those films in black and white. It's one of the films, you try it. Don't think that it's going to be what you think it's going to be. That element is in there, but it's done in a really good way that the story goes over that. I would never want to see the remake done by Jeremy Irons, because I don't think that I would appreciate that. I do appreciate how Stanley Kubrick, obviously when he does film a book, he will put his own spin on the book. He won't do it word for word, which is why I like that. Obviously The Shining was one where he did his own slant on that movie. Same with that Clockwork Orange. He didn't film that one exactly how it was set on the page. He did change that a fair bit. So for me, it's worth a watch. I don't think that everybody would. I think that people may have misconceptions about this film for its subject matter, but I do think that it's well worth a watch, and it's a really well made film, and it's very watchable. And yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. So make of it what you will, but I've got it at number 7. Really enjoyed it. So at number 6 is another silent film from, I'm going to say, when's this from? I think it's from 1928. Yes, 1928, and it is The Man Who Laughs. Now this film here was not notorious, but well known for the fact that the Joker is kind of copied off the Conrad Veidt plays a character called Gwynplaine. Yeah, Gwynplaine. And the Joker was kind of modelled on this character here with this grin, this permanently etched into his face grin by surgery. And I mistakenly thought this film was going to be a bit of a horror film. It's not at all. It's more like a romance film, but that doesn't take anything away from the film. The film is so actually like stunning to watch, and it's also got a thing of it's very much an action film, and it does really, how can I put it, it has you on the edge of your seat. To be honest, I was watching it through my fingers at the end, which you wouldn't imagine you could do with a horror film. Sorry, but not even a horror film, with a film from 1928. It just shows you how good these films are, and never underestimate a silent film. This film is absolutely stunning and well presented as well. Obviously, this slip is beautiful slip. I'm so glad I got that, and I'm so glad I went for this because it's one of my favourite silent films of all time. So at number 5, we have 1985's Come and See. This is the Criterion version. Now I do believe I was wanting to get this. Obviously, I thought it was going to get released in the UK, but I don't think it's going to get released in the UK because of some censorship issues that it has with the fact that, without giving you any spoilers, there's some animal. So I think why it fell foul of UK distribution was the fact there's a few things in here which weren't considered too palatable for the UK market, and it's to do with animals. So, but the film itself is a masterpiece, and this fella here, this young lad who was only 14 at the time, who did this unbelievable performance of this young fella in this war, getting into this war. Can't think of his name, and it's a UK. It's a digital restoration of it, a 2K one, and it just looks absolutely amazing. I think it was all filmed in natural light, which is another thing where you think, well, will it look any good? But it certainly does. But this kid's performance here is like no other than you would see. I can't believe that somebody could have pulled this performance out. In fact, all the people in here are great, but he's such a standout. But this film, don't be under no misconceptions. This film is brutal, and you will be quite shocked at times, and it's based on the true stories that happened in the Second World War between Belarus and the Germans, who came and just burnt all the villages down to the ground. In reality, that's what happened, and this is all about this young lad and his struggle through that in his area, getting burnt to the ground. And it is pretty harrowing in places, and it does remain in your mind for a bit. But I did have a great time with this film, and I did appreciate the fact of it being so good. And to me, it's a film that it's kind of like one of them films you just have to watch. Although it's not a film you could watch every year, but I do plan to watch this, once or twice every couple of years. Next is probably the film that I did put this film off for quite a time. I remember my good friend Holgoth73 had told me about this film for years. You've got to see this film. I says, I will. And I just didn't get it, and then I got it, and then I put it on the shelf, and I thought one day I'll watch that film, because I have heard, this is before I started YouTube, if I'd started YouTube I would have heard many people going on about this film, so I would have watched it instantly. But I should have listened to my good friend John and just went and watched the film straight away, and it is the amazing Train to Busan. Now for me, this film is got to be top 5 zombie films of all time. If you haven't seen it, you are just missing one of the best ever non-stop action films and zombie action films that you'll ever see in your life. The film takes part on a train, and it's just all on a train with a zombie outbreak on a train, which starts literally in the first 5 minutes and continue. You think, how can a film like that continue for the whole running time? But it does, and it delivers on every level. It's an absolutely amazing film. And the performance from the young girl in this film is just really unbelievable. It's absolutely brilliant. She's an amazing actress, and in this film it's just, I haven't seen the sequel yet, or the prequel, or the one that came before it. I do want to see it, but this film here is just absolutely brilliant. So into the top 3. Now the top 3 for me are the ones that I had the best time with. And also I could say that these, you know, sometimes you'll hear that people say these could interchange at any point how you feel, and I do feel that way about these three films. I struggled to put them, I could have put any one, it just depended on the day that I made that list as to what I felt about that, what should be top. So these could be all interchangeable. If you said to me, if I said number 3 was number 1, it wouldn't matter to me, because they're all absolutely classics, and I just thought they were just such amazing films. So yes, number 3 is Jojo Rabbit. I did want to see this. I didn't know anything about it, which was great. I did know it was going to be a bit of a screwball comedy, but it's much more than that, and it's got some really, really good scenes in it. Without going into any, I don't want to give any spoilers on this film. I want you to, if you haven't seen this film and you think about picking it up, if you pick it up, I want you to have the same sort of journey as I did through this film. I didn't know what to expect. There was a lot of things happened that I didn't expect, but I had such a great time in this film. The music in this film is just so amazing, and the times it comes in the times, sorry, the times that it's kind of like introduced to the film at certain points. It's just, he's done an amazing job with it. Taika Waititi there, who plays an imaginary friend, Hitler. It's bizarre. I can't even describe it, but you've got to see this. And everybody in here plays plays an amazing part, especially Scarlett Johansson, who I do like, but I don't really think is like somebody who's exemplary. But she was, in fact, she was one of the best parts of this film. They were all great. So highly, highly, highly recommended. I do want to get the 4K of it, but it's evading my clutches at the minute, because you can get it in the UK, the US, but it's always like a bazillion quid. So I will get it, but I don't mind paying money for it. But I'm not going to kill myself getting it, because that does look nice. But I know the 4K, because I downloaded it in Sky Movies in their version of ultra high definition. It looked really nice. So that one's got to look better, because obviously streaming, you know, you go back to these things. Why do you get these if you can stream it on the TV? Well, because of the quality. Because the quality in here is better than you get in the telly. And if you like best quality you can get, well, you're not going to go there, are you? I do stream more for convenience than for keeping stuff. So number 2, like I say, these top 3 could be interchangeable. Number 2 is 1975's Barry Lyndon. I've talked about this a lot. This is another film that I've put off. It's been on the shelves for years, a bit like Lolita, a bit like Train to Busan. There's a few of them in here that I've thought, well, I'll get round to it. Fifth Element, and it's just absolutely just amazing. I've talked about loads. I'll put me review of it down there. I want to do more reviews, separate reviews this year. That's one thing I'm really interested in doing, because this one got quite a good reception. I just can't big up this film enough. You've got to see it. It's one of those ones where I don't want to go too much into it. What I didn't speak about in the review that I did, which is not going to spoil the film, but when Barry Lyndon, his relationship between his stepson, between him and his stepson, and him and his son in this film, is one of the highlights of the film. And it's just so, I don't know, I can't describe it, but I just love the performance of them 3 characters in that mix. It's just really, really, really good. I can't express how much I think this film is. And I mean, I'm going to do a top 10 of a ranking of the Stanley Kubrick films, and this one's going to be high up. Is it going to be number 1? Who knows? But I'm dying to get into that one. But yeah, Barry Lyndon, honestly, stone cold classic. You can't go wrong with it. I will be getting the Criterion one of that when the price is right, and I'm sure I've seen them online sometimes around about 20 quid. That's more enough. I would love it to come out in the UK, but it's not out in the UK yet for whatever reason, probably rights. So yeah, so anyway, so number 1, I don't know if you can guess what it is. You probably will do, because we've seen my videos throughout the past months. You will know how much of a fan I am of this film, and it is the recently released, I think it was last year, Parasite. What can I say apart from this? I love this film. I can't get enough of this film. I can't I can't tell you anything about the film. I'm going to get a 4K because the little thing was stuck in there, and when I got out the box, which I wrecked the box. I knew I was going to wreck the box, but I wrecked the cover as well, because I wasn't going to take it all the way back to HMV to get them to pull the thing on it. I will be getting a 4K, but wow. But the film, what I can tell you about the film is it's so clever. It's one of the cleverest films I've seen. It's one that I didn't expect any way that this film was going to go. The next thing coming on, I didn't see that one coming. I didn't see this one coming. All the performances from these characters in here are just amazing. When it comes together, and you do realise the backstory and the elements of this film, and it makes sense all the way through, but when it finally makes sense at the end, wow, it's mind blowing. It's just so you've got to see it. It's just that simple, and I'm not going to tell you anything about it rather than you just got to do it. I mean, I wouldn't advise you to watch the trailer. The trailer doesn't give anything away anyway, but just you watch that and you will be amazed, as everyone I know has seen it has been amazed. Even my wife, who didn't want to watch it because she said it'll be too this, it'll be too that. It's not. Anyway, enough of that. Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and so that's going to sort of bookend the 2020 videos, and I do want to start some new things off in the next couple of weeks and months. I think the only thing I've got really left from 2020 is to tell you what films I bought and received in the month of December, and that'll be coming up soon. I'm trying to film these all in one go, so I've got a stash so I can put them out when I'm at work and that. Got a quite busy time at work at the minute, but I'm going to try and put some time away, apart from I think there's going to be a storm again. So I'm going to try and get some more videos and more films watched this month, because usually in January, for some reason, I always seem to watch a load of films. Okay, so thanks very much. Now, like I say, I appreciate the whole 400 of you tuning into my channel. Wow, it's just unbelievable. Very much appreciated. You take care, and I will see you in the next video. See you later.